This is the Our Lady of Medjugorje sculpture, which resides in the gardens of St. James Church. St. James Church was built before the Apparitions started. All the local people thought the priest was crazy for having such a large church built in such a small town. Now, it is packed while Mass is said at least 5 times a day. People are lined up outside. The gospel message at 6 p.m. is read in 15 languages. It is a landmark at Medjugorje. On the way up Apparition Hill is a bronze plaque depicting the Visitation of Mary from the second joyful mystery. These plaques are about 4 feet by 4 feet. There is one for each of the 5 joyful mysteries and each of the 5 sorrowful mysteries. We prayed the rosary 2 times as we hiked Apparition Hill. At each plaque we stopped and meditated on the mystery. We prayed out loud. Others prayed out loud in German, Italian, Croatian, and other languages. It was inspirational walking, praying, and hearing the same prayers in other languages. Many pilgrims make these walks barefooted. From the statue of Mary down, I took off my shoes to try it. It wasn't easy. You have to be careful not to step on the sharp parts of the rocks. I wore my shoes on subsequent hikes. You should be able to pick out St. James Church from this location, which is not far from the spot of the first apparitions. This panorama is taken from Cross Mountain, which is a much higher elevation than Apparition Hill. The cross was put there asking for blessings for Medjugorje in 1030, 1,000 years after the death of Christ. The 15 plaques on the way to the cross depict stations of the cross. There is a young woman kneeling and holding a 3-foot cross at the base of the cross. She was barefooted and unmoving for more than an hour. I read, "Those that devoutly make the stations of the cross may gain a plenary indulgence under the usual condition. The sick also may gain this indulgence, if they will kiss devoutly or gaze upon a crucifix, especially blessed for the way of the cross. They also must recite, if possible, a short prayer in commemoration of the Passion and Death." Vicka is a more accessible visionary. She spoke to groups on the steps going up to her house. She was smiling and waving the passers-by all the time she spoke. She spoke to Germans before us. They and we had translators for our respective languages. Vicka mainly told us about the Blessed Mother's 5-part basic message. Number 1, the Rosary. Number 2, the Eucharist. Number 3, the Holy Bible. Number 4, fasting. And number 5, monthly confessions. She elaborated a little on each and answered questions. At one time, Vicka had considered becoming a nun. She was, however, recently married. Her husband is right above her with the mustache. Matilda, our guide, is above and to the left. Everyone in Medjugorje seemed to know Matilda. She has an in-law who is one of the Visionaries. This is an actual-size statue of St. Leopold. One of the things he was known for was hearing confessions 12 hours a day. The statue is appropriately situated next to the confessionals outside St. James Church. This crowd showed up hours before Mirjana was to make a scheduled apparition. This was all happening at the Cenacolo community, which is a rehabilitation center for young recovering drug addicts. Some of the young men are forming a human chain to make a path for Mirjana. All of us outside the tent were unable to see her. We may have been a little disappointed, but we saw something the people inside didn't. An upside-down rainbow appeared under the sun at the same time as the apparition. Everyone seemed pretty excited. The expressions on the faces of the crowd seemed very interesting to me. I don't know how we stayed so happy crammed together all that time. About 30 years ago, during the communist rule, 30 priests were killed by the police. They were told to renounce their vocations. When they refused, they were taken out and shot with a machine gun. Their bodies were soaked with gasoline and set on fire. Many more priests were killed all over the former Yugoslavia. Father Jozo, an expert on the subject, was supposed to talk to us about the incident and the Visionaries. He was unavailable, so we had a day off with the bus. On our day off, Matilda took us to this place called the Small Cow Waterfalls. In the not-too-distant past, the locals took their cows here for water. 1 or 2 cows were valuable possessions. Most homes still have a small vegetable garden and a small vineyard. Each family traditionally bottles their own wine. The homes are built for several families. Wives will move into their husband's family's home. When the oldest brother can build his own home, he and his family are the first to move out. This picture is of old Dubrovnik. A 2.2-kilometer stone castle wall surrounds it. We spent a day and a half there. It is on the coast of the Adriatic Sea, with a deep green, clear water. Tourists come here from all over to vacation in the sun.